All right, now to this. We're waiting on President Trump to issue his final determination on a proposed 60-day ceasefire extension with Iran after wrapping up a meeting yesterday in the Situation Room.
Meanwhile, a new report indicates that at least 5 Americans were hurt in a recent Iranian missile attack in Kuwait. Madeline Rivera joins us from Washington with the details. Good morning, Maddie.
Good morning. That's right. We'll see today if the president will announce a decision regarding this ceasefire extension. A statement from a White House official yesterday did not reveal too much about the president's next move, saying President Trump will only make a deal that is good for America and satisfies his red lines. It does remain unclear at the moment whether Iran has indeed agreed to the president's key asks, and that includes Iran's commitment to never obtain a nuclear weapon. President Trump also demanded unrestricted shipping traffic in the Strait of Hormuz and the removal of mines in the waterway. And regarding Iran's highly enriched uranium, the president says the stockpile, sometimes referred to as nuclear dust, will be unearthed by the United States, which it is agreed is the only country, along with China, with the mechanical capability of doing so in close coordination and conjunction with the Islamic Republic of Iran, plus the International Atomic Energy Agency, and destroyed. But Iran's parliament speaker says in a defiant post, "We seize concessions not through dialogue, but with missiles. In negotiations, we merely make them understand we have no trust in guarantees or words. Only actions are the measure. The winner of any agreement is the one who is better prepared for war from the day after." Secretary of War Pete Hegseth says the U.S. still has the capability to relaunch military action against the regime.
Our ability to recommence if necessary is we are more than capable. Our stockpiles are more than suited for that, both there and around the globe, because of how we balance exquisite and more plentiful munitions. So we're in a very good place.
Meantime, Bloomberg reports at least 5 Americans were hurt after Iran launched a ballistic missile towards a Kuwaiti airbase earlier this week. The missile was intercepted by Kuwaiti forces, but falling debris reportedly hit the Ali al-Salam airbase. For Bloomberg, 2 MQ-9 Reaper drones were also seriously damaged in the incident. Charlie, Rachel, and Griff.
All right.
Thank you, Maddie.
Today's report highlights a very important moment in the ongoing tensions between the United States and Iran. According to the information released, President Donald Trump is currently considering whether to approve a proposed 60-day ceasefire extension with Iran. The decision comes after a meeting in the White House Situation Room, where top national security officials reviewed the latest developments. At the center of the discussions are several key demands made by the United States. President Trump reportedly wants Iran to commit to never obtaining a nuclear weapon. This has been one of the main concerns of American administrations for decades. The fear is that a nuclear-armed Iran could dramatically alter the balance of power in the Middle East and increase the risk of future conflicts. Another important issue involves the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway is one of the world's most critical shipping routes, especially for global oil supplies. The United States wants unrestricted shipping traffic through the strait and the removal of any mines that could threaten commercial vessels. Any disruption in this region could have significant consequences for global energy markets and the international economy. The report also mentions Iran's stockpile of highly enriched uranium. President Trump has suggested that this material should be removed and destroyed under international supervision. Such a step would be intended to reduce concerns about Iran's nuclear capabilities and create greater confidence among international observers. However, Iran's response appears to show that major differences remain. Statements from Iranian officials suggest that they view military strength as a more effective tool than negotiations when it comes to securing concessions. This rhetoric reflects a deep lack of trust between the two countries. Even if a temporary ceasefire is reached, the underlying political disagreements remain unresolved. One of the most significant developments in the report is the warning from U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. He stated that the United States retains the capability to restart military operations if necessary. This statement appears designed to remind Iran that the ceasefire discussions are taking place alongside continued military readiness. The situation became even more concerning following reports that at least 5 Americans were injured after Iran launched a ballistic missile toward a military installation in Kuwait. Although Kuwaiti defenses reportedly intercepted the missile, debris from the interception still caused damage. Reports also indicate that 2 MQ-9 Reaper drones were seriously damaged during the incident. From a broader perspective, this story demonstrates how fragile the current situation remains. On one hand, diplomatic efforts continue, and both sides may see benefits in avoiding a larger conflict. On the other hand, military threats, missile attacks, and strong public statements show that tensions remain extremely high. My analysis is that the next decision from President Trump could play a major role in determining whether the region moves toward a period of reduced tensions or returns to a more dangerous phase of confrontation. A ceasefire extension could provide additional time for negotiations and potentially reduce the immediate risk of conflict. However, if either side believes that its core interests are not being protected, the possibility of renewed military action cannot be ruled out. What makes this situation particularly complex is that neither side appears willing to compromise on its most important priorities. The United States wants firm guarantees regarding Iran's nuclear ambitions and regional activities. Iran, meanwhile, wants to demonstrate that it cannot be pressured into accepting demands through threats alone. As a result, the coming days may prove critical. The world will be watching closely to see whether diplomacy can produce tangible results or whether growing mistrust and military tensions will once again dominate the relationship between Washington and Tehran. For now, the situation remains uncertain. But one thing is clear: the decisions made by both governments in the near future could have consequences not only for the Middle East but also for international security and global economic stability.